guess let's get started.
Hi, this is Brian. Welcome back to Philosopher's Notes TV. Today, we've got another great book, Make Your Bed by Admiral William H. McRaven. Subtitle, Little Things That Can Change Your Life and Maybe the World. Make Your Bed. This little great book is based on a commencement address that Admiral William H. McRaven gave to the University of Texas at Austin, right down the street from where we are these days, about 30 minutes away. The commencement address was put on YouTube. It went viral. Tons of people watched it. And then this book is basically the extension of the 10 ideas that he shared to the graduating class of UT Austin, I think in 2014, on what he learned going through his Navy SEAL training. And he unpacks those basic ideas. We'll link to the YouTube video below in this great book. Shares some stories, some wisdom, great storyteller. It's a crazy number of Amazon reviews. 5,000 five-star reviews. I add my five-star review to the mix. It's a fantastic gift as well, particularly for young adults or anyone who wants a really approachable, wise collection of wisdom that's super practical and told within the context of truly an American hero. So Admiral McRaven served for 37 years. He retired as the head of all U.S. Special Forces operations. He led the pursuit and capture of Osama bin Laden and a ton of other stuff. Truly an American hero. This book captures some of his ideas. And actually, the next episode we're going to share another one of his books, his autobiography called Sea Stories, which is also fantastic. So as always, Philosopher's Note, 6-page PDF, 20-minute MP3. We've got 600 of them. Check it out. Optimize.me. Free 2-week trial, etc. For now, make your bed. That's lesson number 1. What he told the graduating class, hey, make your bed. Start your day with a win. Start your day with a completion. And he tells a story in the book about how when he was a young ensign in the Navy, had to make the bed perfectly. Corners need to be tucked in. The blanket needed to be nice and tight. The pillow needed to be at a perfect 90-degree angle. The instructor had to be able to snap a coin off of it. It was so perfectly made, right? Why? Because discipline matters. Doing the little things matters. And as McRaven tells us, if you can't do those small things well, good luck doing the big things. And we talk about this all the time as well. My coach, Phil Stutz, my Yoda, talks a lot about microtransactions. This moment is all we have. Give your best to this moment. Moment to moment to moment. That's where we get ultimate power. Then when the, quote, big things come, we're ready because we've disciplined ourselves to show up. Again, starting our days. Did you make your bed this morning? You want to start the day with a win, with a bit of self-discipline. Boom. That's what's most important as we get out of bed, etc. David Allen, Getting Things Done, one of the world's leading productivity experts, he says the same thing. When I interviewed him, he said, look, the sublime, everyone wants to go straight for the sublime, but they forget that it's through the mundane that we reach the sublime. It's through the little things that we're able to connect to the best within ourselves. So, make your bed. And we're going to talk about rising to the occasion and working your protocol. You want to have a protocol. You want to have a set of things that you just do on a daily basis. And that protocol can help you get through the hard times. When everything else is kind of blown up, you want to have certain structures in your life through which you can focus your energy and show up and do your best. And making your bed is the first lesson here, the first lesson to embody a la Admiral McRaven's wisdom from his Navy SEAL training. The second idea here is life's not fair. So there are 10 ideas in the commencement address and in the book. One of them is life's not fair. And in this one, McRaven talks about sugar cookies. So I'm a huge fan of Navy SEAL wisdom. We've got a growing collection of books by some of the wisest, most intense, awesome Navy SEALs out there, from Mark Divine, the former commander who's a dear friend, and actually investor in Optimize. We have several notes on his books, an upcoming PNTV on his latest book. And he actually talks about Admiral McRaven in his newest book, Staring Down the Wolf. We've got Jocko Willink, Discipline Equals Freedom. We got an episode on that coming up soon. Extreme Ownership with Leif Babin, fantastic book. We've got Alden Mills, Be Unstoppable and Unstoppable Teams, David Goggins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So check all those out. But I just love the wisdom that comes through the rigor of SEAL training. And one of the things when you're going through Navy SEAL training that you should expect is what they call a sugar cookie. If you don't know what a sugar cookie is, basically imagine you're in your full gear. You got your boots, you got your, full gear, pants, et cetera, t-shirt. You run out into the surf. You jump into the ocean head first, get all soaking wet. Then you come back out of the water and you roll around in the sand until you are completely covered in every little crevice with sand. That's called a sugar cookie. Now, the sugar cookie is usually given to those who need a little bit of coaching on things like making their bed properly or doing whatever else they were asked to do at a high level. So McRaven's going through training and he's striving to do his best, moment to moment to moment, right? And then one of his trainers comes up and says, McRaven, give me a sugar cookie. And he doesn't know what's going on, right? He's like, okay, not sure what I did, but I guess it is. This is what I got to do. Heads out to the surf, jumps in, does the sand thing, sugar cookie. And then his trainer tells him, the guy who's going through or kind of, whatever, bringing him through the training says, hey, calmly, yet questioningly, I think he calls him Mac. Mac, do you know why you got a sugar cookie? And Ensign McRaven, but way before he's an admiral, right? He's just a young man going through this training. He says, no, sir. Thinking to himself, I have no idea why you just made me do that. And this guy, whose name was Moki Martin, says, well, you know what? Sometimes life's not fair. You didn't do anything wrong, but sometimes life's not fair. And you got to get used to that. And you got to get used to just wearing a sugar cookie, even after you do everything perfectly. And as we say in the note, you can do all of your fundamentals. You can make your bed in the morning. You can meditate. You can exercise. You can show up powerfully in your energy, your work, and your love. And you can still fail. You will still fail many, many times. Life's not fair. The wisdom and the idea here is drive on. Press on, even in the face of that unfairness. Don't complain. Don't criticize anything. Get clear on what your next target is and go crush it. And as it turns out, Moki Martin, years later, he was like the quintessential Navy SEAL, just jacked, triathlete back in the day. It was just super fit. And he got in an accident riding his bike one day, paralyzed, in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. And McRaven says he never complained. Sugar cookie, life's not fair. Now what? Okay, I'm in a wheelchair. What am I going to do? And he proceeded to create all these races and to serve profoundly within those constraints of his reality as a true hero. And we need to decide, are we going to show up as victims complaining about all the things going wrong in our society today? It's even easier to do it. It's always easy, but with COVID and all the social justice issues, et cetera, it's easy to complain. Life isn't fair. Different things are happening in the world. The question is, how are we going to show up? Are we going to show up heroically and give the world all we've got, which actually leads us perfectly to the next idea, which is rise to the occasion. I'm going to share directly from Admiral McRaven here. First, we'll go back to making your bed. He says, making your bed will also reinforce the fact that little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. Then we've got, at some point, so this is from a chapter called Rising to the Occasion and Being Your Best in the Darkest Moments. He says, at some point, we will all confront a dark moment in life. If not the passing of a loved one, then something else that crushes your spirit and leaves you wondering about your future. In that dark moment, reach deep inside yourself and be your very best. Be your very best. Again, optimize comes from the Latin optimus, which means the best. Everything we're doing here is to try to help you more and more consistently be the best version of yourself. And we need you to be the best version of yourself when you're in your darkest moments in particular. And there's something powerful about being the type of person such that the worse you feel, the more committed you are to your protocol. So I promised we'd come back to the protocol. Right, and a good protocol, by the way, start with making your bed. You start by demonstrating a level of self-mastery, wisdom, self-mastery, courage, love, our cardinal virtues. We want to operationalize that moment to moment to moment. And my coach, again, Phil Stutz, taught me this years ago, almost in one of our very first sessions, 3 years ago. Wow, almost 4 years ago now. He said, look, it's important to have emotional stamina. And he was complimenting me on the emotional stamina that I had and I was demonstrating. And he said that at the end of one chat, the next chat, the start of it, I said, hey, what did you mean by emotional stamina? And he said, well, look, if you want emotional stamina, what I now call anti-fragile confidence, you need to have a certain protocol, which is the worse that you feel, an algorithm you run. If I feel terrible, then I am that much more committed to my protocol. Now, that presupposes you have a protocol. And again, making your bed is a good one to start with. So is shutting off your electronics early the night before, eating a certain way, moving your body a certain way, then sleeping well, focusing your attention, celebrating life, being grateful, all the practices we talk about. You want to know who you are and what you do when you're at your best. And then when you're at your worst and you're not feeling great, you want to run those protocol algorithms with an even more intense ferocity. And when you do that, you literally cultivate a level of anti-fragility, where the more you get knocked around, the stronger you get because the more committed you are to your protocol. It's a really, really powerful concept, this idea of rising to the occasion. The worse you feel, the better you show up. The more crazy the world is, the more chaotic the world is, the more committed you are to your basic fundamentals. And again, COVID exposes a lot of things. And a friend of mine met on the trail before we moved from Ojai, coming out here, and he said, did you see the Eckhart Tolle video right when COVID came out? I said, I don't watch videos. I read books. What did he say? He said, well, he talked about the parable of Jesus and Jesus' parable of the wise and foolish builders. Ah, I said, exactly right. That's what's happening right now. As the world gets rocked, we see in our own lives, did we build our lives on a foundation of rock? Right? Jesus says, you build it on rock, which is you follow my teachings, Jesus said, and actually do the things we talk about here. Then when the storms come, your foundation is on solid rock. But if you listen to these ideas, you don't do anything about it, you're like the foolish builder who builds his house on sand. Then when the storms come, sorry, your house is going to get washed away. So right now, COVID is just exposing us and demonstrating to us whether or not we have the fundamentals, the foundation, moving from theory to practice to mastery in place or not. Because there's a lot of people that are using this as an opportunity to get stronger. One of my dear friends and heroes, Joe DeSena, COVID comes, he's got to cancel all of his U.S. events, completely throws his business backwards. Right? What does he do? He trains 3 times a day. He gets even deeper into his practice. He gets in the best shape of his life because he knows he needs to rise and be the best version of himself when the world his team needs him the most. That's what being a hero is all about. Having the strength for 2, being a protector, and having the discipline to work your protocol. Again, that presupposes you have one. So you got to identify what you do when you're on and then discipline yourself to consistently do it. Rise to the occasion, which leads us to hope. McRaven tells us that hope is the most powerful force in the universe. And he references Nelson Mandela and all these other exemplary heroes who were faced with extraordinary challenges but then gave us hope and showed us that we too can achieve great things. We too can move through these challenges. And he says that's, again, the greatest force in the universe. He shares this wisdom in the context of his Navy SEAL training, and they're going through everything, right? So all the different ways that their trainers can punish them and torture them and try to weed out the ones that aren't all in. He had to go through this one training where they went down from Coronado into Mexico, I believe, and they had to go into mud, right? And they were neck deep in mud. They're supposed to stay there overnight, freezing cold, neck deep in mud. And the trainer is just taunting them. All right, you guys can get out when 3 of you quit or 5 of you quit or whatever the number was, right? And one guy starts leaving, and someone tries to pull him back, right? And he slips out of his hands, and he's trying to get out and quit. And then one guy in the back starts singing. They're neck deep in mud. And this one aspiring Navy SEAL starts singing loud and raucously and just, yeah, bring it on, let's go. And then another person starts singing, and another person starts singing. And he says, when you're neck deep in mud, start singing. Give others hope. Because if one guy could do that in the midst of that challenge, then other guys can. That guy that was going to leave, he came back. And he stuck it out through the night because one person had the audacity and the courage to sing in the face of that despair. So again, hope is huge. I'm going to walk us through hope one more time. There's a science to hope. And this is one of the top 3 virtues most highly correlated with your flourishing. Zest, your energy, hope, and gratitude. These are the top 3. What positive psychologists tell us are the most important, powerful virtues. Hope is defined scientifically as basically you have a goal, a target that you're working, that inspires you. First, hopelessness is when you have no hope because you don't see your future as awesome. You see it as getting worse and worse and worse. So the first step is, no. I've got a clear target. I've got a goal. I can see my future and it's going to be better than my present, which leads us to the second element. And if you've been watching these, you know I'm repeating myself, and that is by design. We train our coaches in our Optimized Coach program. We come back to this again and again and again. What are the 3 elements of hope? 1, a goal. 2, agency. And then 3, pathways. You got to know that your first plan almost certainly isn't going to work. As they say in the military, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. Fantastic. But you do the preparation, and then you think of the contingencies, which we'll talk about in the next PNTV on Sea Stories and how they got Osama bin Laden, all the different contingencies. But you got to know that plan A is probably not going to work. But that doesn't matter. You'll go to plan B, plan C, plan D. You'll go A, B, B, all the way through the alphabet as many times as it takes to get there. That's the science of hope. And that leads us to the final idea, which is the 10th idea out of the 10 ideas in this book. And McRaven says the most important: never quit. Never quit. Never quit. In the very beginning of the training, they bring out a big bell for the Navy SEALs, right? And they say, hey, just ring this 3 times. You won't need to go through any more of the suffering. You'll get a warm night of sleep. You'll get some great food. Life is going to be good for you. All you got to do is ring this bell, and you'll be done. Your torture will be over. Right? McRaven says, don't ring the bell. Never quit. Never, ever quit. Now, of course, you may adjust your strategy as any wise individual would do, but quitting in the ultimate sense of on yourself, in your life, never, ever quit. Never ring the bell. Find the next pathway. And again, it might mean blowing up your business and going in this direction, or it might be whatever it's going to be for you, but never quit. Another Navy SEAL wrote a great book called Be Unstoppable, named Alden Mills. Navy SEAL named Alden Mills wrote a great book called Be Unstoppable. I read it, did a note on it, and then got to know Alden. He's an amazing human being. And then I read it to Emerson when he was old enough, maybe when he was like 6 years old. Highly recommend Be Unstoppable for your kids. A great little parable he wrote for his sons. He has a playful thing in there, a little character who embodies this idea of Negu, N-E-G-U. And we have an Optimized +1 on this we'll link to, where Emerson joins me, and we do it together. Negu, never, ever give up. It's this frog, little statue of a frog inside of a bird that's trying to eat it, and it's just fighting its way out. Never, ever give up. Negu. Our kids will run around the house saying, Negu, Negu. Never, ever give up. Maintain your hope. Never quit. Maintain your hope, remembering that that's the most powerful force in the universe. We need you to have the hope for your family, your communities, your colleagues, your clients, etc. This is how we change the world, one person at a time, together, starting with you and me. Today, we maintain hope in the face of the greatest challenges as we rise to the occasion and express the best version of ourselves, knowing life's not fair. We're not going to argue with reality. It is what it is. Now what? Now what do I want? Moving from victim to creator to hero, striving to be our best as we focus on the small things, remembering that there are, in fact, no small things, and those little things are what give us the power and self-mastery to do the, quote, big things when and as they arise in life. That is some wisdom from this great book. Again, I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic gift for all ages. And tomorrow we will chat about McRaven's autobiography and unpack some more wisdom from Sea Stories. For now, Admiral McRaven, thank you for an amazing work and 37 years of dedication to our nation. We do not take you for granted, but as granted. And thank you, everyone, for being here and making it possible for me to do this. And what's the number one thing you got out of this? What's the one thing you know you can move from theory to practice to mastery on as we optimize our lives and give the world all we've got? Get on that. Make today an awesome day. Look forward to sharing more with you soon. See you.
Okay. So has anybody read Make Your Bed? No. It's a good book. It's a really quick read. So it's one of those things you can pick up and finish it in one day. It was gifted to me, and I don't remember who gifted it. It was a number of years ago. And I put off reading it for a very long time because it was a short read. And I'm like, I don't have to read this. I can read this later because it's not going to take me long. Well, it took me a long time because I didn't pick it up for a while. But then I picked it up and I left it on my bedside. And it's always like resonated with me with these little things. And then I found the video. So you can go on YouTube and find his video, which is his commencement speech to the in Austin. That was really, really good. He's a very powerful speaker. I mean, he's a general. So that would make sense. I hope nobody gets tired of all my Navy SEAL videos about books, because there's a lot of them and they're really, really cool. But so it's a quick read, and Navy SEALs have a lot of discipline. And Navy SEALs do a lot of things consistently, and they do a lot of things that are very, very hard. And they do that because they have one of the toughest jobs, is basically defending the planet. But do you have the discipline to be successful? I always like to ask this to people, because the discipline you need to be successful is basically waking up, showing up every day, and being consistent in your behavior, which is picking up the phone every day, which is some of the things that realtors just don't do. They will not pick up the phone every day. And I find that it's very interesting because we have all proven to ourselves that we can be disciplined. I mean, can you name something that you do that you're disciplined in doing every day?
Making my bed.
Do you make your bed every day?
Yes.
I don't make my bed. I do not. So because I did that when I was in the military, like I did the whole corners and the corner up, I did all that. I'm done. Like I hire somebody to do that now. Like that's not true. So my bed was, I leave my bed a mess, and when I woke up this morning, it'll probably be that way when I get home. But then, you know, we have a maid that comes and fixes it up every now and then.
Like the hotel.
Huh?
Maids do it like
Yes,
the hotel.
yes.
I don't do that.
But-
I just cover it.
You just cover it. But is there anything else you do that is discipline? So so this is the key. This is the goal, is we have to start doing something to where we do it every day so much that we don't even think about it anymore. We can't even remember what it is that we do. So one of the things that I do every day is I shower every day. Shower every day. I'm disciplined to shower, because trust me, my 15-year-old is not disciplined. He does not shower every day. I have to go tell him, like a drill sergeant, go shower, because he just doesn't want to do it. But I shower every day. I brush the teeth every day. I rinse my mouth every day. I go to work every day. Like there are things that you do that are disciplined. You know, you could probably go through your life and like track everything you do. You can find something that you do that's disciplined. And I think that like you don't even think about taking a shower as being disciplined, but it absolutely is. And it's because you've done it for so long. And I remember let's go back to my 15-year-old, is that I think it was last week, you know, I was walking downstairs and I went up to my wife and I'm like, oh, hey, he's in the shower. I didn't have to say nothing to him. And it's like the discipline's starting to kick in. And so if you do something over a long enough time horizon, you will become disciplined at it. It's just really hard to do the picking up and making the phone calls thing, because the return on investment is so far away. So that's one of the things I like about the Navy SEALs and the discipline. Start your day with a win. I always try to start my day with the win, and I always try to put something positive into my mind to start my day, because you just never know where your day is going to go. And so having a positive, strong mindset. So when I wake up in the morning, like I wake up, I shower, I start to get ready, and then while I'm getting ready, I put on some positive video, something positive to, and I have this app that I use that just pumps out positive information, because that's the start of my day, and that's how I fill my day. And that's my win for the day. And so if you're not starting out with a win, because like I get to work and I've already been hit sideways with a few things. Like I've already had 3 agents contact me, like somebody's like, I don't know how to get a buyer broker assigned, or no, I have a buyer broker assigned and how do I enforce it? And I'm like, like that's new stuff. Like, and so like I'm getting hit sideways with things, but I already have a positive start. So I'm already starting from a really, really great place. When he talks about this moment is all we have. This is, you could probably tie a lot of this to that book, Eat That Frog, because Eat That Frog is about procrastination and about putting things off another day. And I've been reminded a lot lately because I've had a lot of people pass that I've known, and my wife has had some people pass that she's known, is that you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And if you want something in your life, you have to do it now, and you don't want to leave any regrets on the table. So this is all, I tied this all into together, is that we've all had bad days, and we've all had 100% success rate on all of our bad days. Like you've made it through every bad day that you've ever had. And you have to believe, you have to have hope. A lot of times we talk about having burnout or we get frustrated and we want to quit. You don't have to quit. If you have burnout and you want to quit, the one thing that I found is that it's probably based on your goal and what you have to go after. You either think it's out of reach or it's not big enough. And so you're like, well, why am I going to do that anyways? I'm never going to make it. That you find that happening like right now. Most people who had a New Year's resolution, I don't really do New Year's resolutions for this reason, is that you start a New Year's resolution, like 3 weeks in, you're done. You're like, I'm done. Because you're like, well, I was going to hit $100,000 this year. That's a lot of agents' goals. Like, I want to hit $100,000 and it's March. How is it possible that I can hit $100,000? And it seems like it's out of reach. So instead of changing what you do, you change the goal. And that is the backwards way to do it. You should change what you do on a daily basis, because in today's world, you can literally make $100,000 with one sale. That was possible when I started in real estate, but way harder to do then. But today, I mean, the average sale, you can do 6 sales and make 100 grand in real estate in this economy. So if you're trying to make $100,000 and you have not, and you've done zero, if you've done zero up to this point, you're like, my goal was 100 grand. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. No, you can be able to do that. You have to change what you're doing on a daily basis and be consistent and start trying to figure things out. Like, if that doesn't work, let me try this. If that doesn't work, let me try this. But the cool thing, especially if you're on this call or if you're listening to this, is the cool thing about Keller Williams is that we have a foundational program for you. We have support and we have help for you. I feel I'm like talking to you specifically because you're right in front of me. No. So if you're trying to hit $100,000 in the next, 9 months, you have to build your foundation. He talked about building the foundation. Oh, can we hear his speakerphone? You're yelling at me. So you have to build your foundation. And from my experience of the program that I've taught agents, the foundation is mindset, online presence, and the database. It starts with mindset because you actually have to believe you can do it. You actually have to understand that it is possible, that if anybody that has ever looked like you or been anything close to you has ever done anything like that you can do it too. And so you have to actually believe you can do it. And then you have to put an online presence together, because you are a brand, regardless if you think so or not. But when people are starting to be interested in using you, they're going to look for you online. And if you have competition, they're going to search you in your competition online. And then you have to put things into your database. You have to put something somewhere. I mean, you don't just walk around like, if you have $10,000, you just don't walk around with $10,000 in your bank, right? That'd be weird. I guess some people do, but you have to put your money in a bank. Well, people are money. People are data, and your database is your data bank. This is where you put everybody, and this is where you go check on your money every day, and you call them, you see how your money's doing, and you just follow up. And if you get this big enough, it will produce any number you want at the end of the day. And so right now, I tell everybody, you have to start out with 300 people, We all know 300 people. And yet somebody challenged me and figure out that they don't know 300 people. You have to be willing to talk to all these 300 people though. And that's where I find a lot of people will stop short, like, well, I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to go back and deal with that person. I don't want to talk to my family. And that's something that in your business, you have to be willing to do this. And it's not about your family using you, it's about your family telling other people about you. I found that out firsthand when I first started. Life is not fair. I love this because I learned this with my children is that, they're like, that's not fair. Like if you have siblings or whatever, they have siblings, like, that's not fair. She got to do this. That's not fair. He got to do that. That's not fair. And the way I explained it to them, which was not popular, is that I said, guess what? Life's not fair for anybody, which kind of makes it fair, right? If you really think about it. But you say it's not fair for anybody. And if it's fair for somebody today, it will probably not be fair for them in the long run. And so it's just not fair. Nothing is given to you. And this kind of goes with the moment thing. Nothing is given. Things may seem easy, and I always tell people, like the whole keeping up with the Joneses, and that person seems like they're doing so good. If you go on social media, you'll find so many people doing so well. People are doing so amazing. The really cool thing about my position is that I can look up everybody's production. And so I see people, oh, I sold this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I'm like, yeah, no, people aren't doing as good as they think they are, but they have to put that out there, because it's the online presence. When people search you up, are you doing well? And there are ways, if you're a new agent and you have not sold a property, that you can create an online presence for yourself to help yourself grow. And then the part that is the most important part is the showing up. And we talked about that a little bit, is showing up consistently for yourself, no matter what. And you don't have to show up 100%, you just have to show up. Give me 10%, 25%, 30% today, and then try to give me more tomorrow. And then if you keep showing up and you're consistent in your behavior, and you're consistent with your mindset, if you're consistent with your database, you're consistent with your online presence, it's really, really hard not to fail. The problem is that it's easy to not do all this stuff. It's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. So we make choices in our day, and a lot of times we choose comfort, and comfort is not the best place to be because comfort's not going to get you anywhere. Anybody have any thoughts on this? What do we have on here? What's it? Everybody's online today. Nobody showed up. What's that? Well, you guys know. What do you guys think? Mitra, you're in the room, so like, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you 100%, and should never give up. And yeah, mindset is very important, especially when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in a good mood, energetic, hopeful. So yesterday I had some showing and people came, and today I woke up. I didn't say I hope they bring me offer. I told myself, I'm wondering how much is going to be their offer.
There we go.
So that's what I said first thing in the morning to myself.
That's reframing what it could be.
Right.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And how much was it for?
Well, the house is 6.5.
Nice. Is this your
Yeah,
your
it's
list?
my,
Okay.
it's my,
Nice, nice. And so you're getting some traction on it.
I do, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Some are just, I think I would say they're browsing,
Mhm.
but really, two people were interested in it.
Okay. What do you think your biggest obstacle is with this property right now?
People are telling me it's the price
The
or
price?
maybe some data issue.
What is the comps in the area? Are they close to your?
Well, it is, I mean,
Good.
it's hard. We are the second lowest in that 1/3 of the radius.
Mhm.
The other houses are 9 million, 14 million. Just next to our house is 50 million. So it's a very private.
Very affluential neighborhood. So what type of buyer would be interested in that property?
The buyer that are looking for privacy.
Privacy. Okay. So high net worth individuals, probably. So what could you do to increase the exposure and the attention on this property to find high net worth individual?
I wish I had the phone number of this, famous CEOs, executive people.
So you don't have that. What would be the next best thing?
Her last one told me I should make a phone call to the neighbors.
Yeah, call the neighbors. Have you tried that?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But I have to get, yeah, I have to contact the citation.
Can you door knock the neighborhood?
I wouldn't,
You wouldn't, but can you?
because, I mean, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable to do it in that neighborhood. If the house is $9 million, or you're gated, or, you know,
So why? Why don't you feel comfortable?
I think one of the reasons they chose that area, they don't want to be bothered with anybody.
So you know that.
No, I don't know that.
So how do you know that? Or are you just guessing?
Just-
So you're creating a belief that may or may not exist. So that's mindset.
Right,
So if you knocked on the door and they were like the $50 million house, you knock on that door and somebody answers the door, the maid's gonna answer the door, let's be honest. And they're gonna go get the owner, and the owner comes up and he goes, oh my God, you're the one represented. I would love to buy that because I was thinking of expanding my property and taking up more property on this street. I mean, would that be possible?
yeah. I mean, in the beginning, I had those neighbors that they wanted to buy this house and expand their backyard.
So you already had somebody that was interested in that?
Right,
Okay,
but, I'm sure for the price that they want to pay to expand their backyard, it has to work, because they're gonna demolish it and make it swimming
Mhm.
pool, or they want to make it a tennis court. The price that they want to pay is just that.
So- this comes back to what are you willing to do? So you're not willing to door knock because you're afraid you're gonna bother them.
I guess, that's my, yeah, because I have to do it. Now I think about it, I have to do it.
What's the worst thing that could
For the
happen?
sake of seller, I have to do it.
What's the worst thing that could happen? The absolute worst.
Just shut the door and leave that, so, I mean, I don't know, that's the worst thing can happen, or they tell me, please do not bother me again, or,
There you go. What's the best thing that could happen?
oh, I didn't know the house is for sale, thanks for letting me know. I
Is that
have
the
a
best?
friend that is looking for a house in this neighborhood.
Or they're like, oh my God, I was trying to figure out when I was gonna call you because I want to buy the property. That's like the best thing, right? What's the commission on 6 million? Isn't that like $180,000? I mean, you know, that'd be good for Christmas. Not bad. So call the door knock the neighbors, call the neighbors. Like that's something you could do. What could be something else? So just so everybody on Zoom knows, this is not just for a $6 million property. This is for all of your properties. It just happens to be she happens to have a $6 million property. What else could you do?
I pray every day.
Praying's good, but that's how most realtors do lead generation. They, you know, called hope and prayer. But beyond prayer, what else could you do? If you're looking for high net worth individuals and you don't have their phone number, so far we can call or door knock the neighbors.
I know, I send them the postcard, so just to let them know.
Do you get postcards in the mail?
I do,
What do you do with them? You save them?
actually, one of them, I said, oh, so interesting, and I called the buyer
Mhm.
that in this building, there is a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, are you interested? And he said, yes, he's interested, but he ended up too late, because he was a young fellow.
Yeah.
He didn't feel comfortable to put all his money down to one thing.
So the postcards haven't worked. How much a postcard cost?
Between 200 to 500.
200 to 500.
Depends how much is the radius, I think radius, $1.63, I guess, or
$1.63
or
per
dollar,
card.
yeah, because I wanted to ask them to send us the biggest, not the tiny one, I want the super,
Do you know what the biggest and most freest postcard is? They can go to more people than any postcard you could buy.
just free, you mean?
It's a free postcard.
I-
Called online. It's called Facebook. You can do a post on Facebook, and then you can put it on Facebook and just post it, but then you can also share it with all your friends. And then you can share it with other people, and then other realtors see it, and it could go like way, 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 way further. Like if you
Yes,
put,
there's a button says you want to be public or friends, yeah. So I
well, you can go to all your friends on Facebook and private message them and send them a picture of the house or a copy of the link of the post that you made and say, hey, I just got a $6 million property. I'm super excited. If you know anybody, I would love for you to share this information with them. Don't sell it to them, because they'll be like, stop selling me stuff, Mitra. I don't like it. I'm gonna block you. You don't want that. You want to say, hey, if you know someone, can you share this information with them? And that does two things. That possibly gets them to share it with somebody else, but it also makes you look like a baller. Because you have a $6 million listing. And if you're sharing with other agents, most agents, like 90% of most agents don't have a $6 million listing. And it's gonna make them a little jelly, which is kind of cool, but it's also going to make you look like a massive agent that's actually doing things out there, because very few agents are doing things right now. So that's one way. But there's also one other way that you can expose your property and to get it in front of high net worth individuals. Any idea? So what you can do is you can go do a search of all the sold properties around your house in the last year. Do a mile circumference of all the sold properties that happened in the last year, and then you call all of those agents. And you say, hey, I noticed that you sold a property on Via Katana last year, 6 months ago, and it looks like you got top dollar for it. I would love for you, if you have a client for my property, and send it over to them. Hey,
No, I'm comfortable to call them.
you should absolutely do that.
It's a great idea.
If I had I've never had a $6 million listing, so I'm one of those guys that's like a little jelly. So if I had a $6 million listing, my day, because this is a $180,000 commission, my day would be packed with calling everybody on the planet. Because if you can actually go on Keller Williams Command, and there's, I don't know where this is exactly, but I can find out for you. There's a way you can see who's coming, who's the #1 import from the states, like which states are coming to LA more than other states. You can actually see that. And so like, could people that buy 10, 20, 30, $50 million high-rise condos in New York City be interested in your property? Maybe, but you can reach out to all those agents in New York City. You can reach out to agents in Dubai. You can reach out to people in Spain, because Spain actually is selling 50 to 100 million properties by Lamborghini, by Dolce & Gabbana, which is wild. So it's like an international prospect could possibly be interested in your property. So like my day would be calling literally every agent on the planet just in case they didn't see my listing. Because honestly, I don't know if somebody in New York is going to see my stuff.
You mean other countries?
Absolutely.
We can reach them? We can.
Absolutely. The guy from Spain.
I know. I mean,
How do you think we reached him for him to come here? Like, he was here because we reached out to him. There's so many ways to connect with people outside of the country. And those people, like we had a person buy in Spain. So why can't someone from Spain buy here? And he would be a great person to say, hey, I have this property in Hollywood Hills. I don't know where it's at exactly. And you send all that information to him. So he sends it to that Keller Williams office. A lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, I see people coming from Austria,
Yep,
from Italy,
yep,
from Netherlands.
absolutely, go for it.
So in addition to Facebook, but where is a better place for you to, as far as social media is concerned, is I would look at research the top 50 corporations that are in the West LA area and find out who that top executive is on LinkedIn or groups and start promoting your listing that they'll allow it there.
Very good.
Right, because
Majority of,
the big money is in LinkedIn, not Facebook, in my opinion.
right, because they're not agents too, that's.
No, it's the most underused social media platform for agents right now. If you're looking to do business, it's great to advertise on Facebook. That's where your friends and your family and, you know, but it's mixed where when you're looking at LinkedIn, you know, you're much more apt to find somebody that, you know, is making $1 million a year that can afford that.
Absolutely.
Or see if you can start, and this is just another way to build your business. It's just, don't, and I'm not saying that you are, but don't be narrow-minded enough to just say, I'm just looking to sell this house, but build that network of high executives. See if you can get in and to the HR person, do a buyer presentation to say, so it's just some options.
And if you knock on a neighbor's door and you say to the neighbor, hey, I have the house next door for sale. And one of the things that I'm willing to do that most agents don't do is, first of all, I'm willing to knock on all of your doors to find out if you know of anybody. But there's things that I'll do for my clients that most agents won't do. Do you have anybody that you know would be interested in the house next door? And so doing that, it exposes you to them seeing and going, oh, wow, because not a lot of realtors door knock. It's a great idea when it starts, but then they don't continue on it. They're not consistent with it. And most people don't do it for the exact reason that you told me you didn't want to do it. And so there's nothing wrong with that. But when you create yourself being an outlier, being different, that's usually those people that are high net worth, they are attracted to that because that's how they got to where they're at, is because they were an outlier and they did things that most people don't do. So when you take yourself out of the box and you can show a little bit of aggression when it comes to business, you may even get another listing because they're like, I really like what you did with that house. Could you do it with mine?
Some neighbors told me that, but in a couple of years, they're gonna contact me.
That's right. You just keep contacting them every day. Is it conducive to hold a party there or a get together there? What's it like inside?
Yeah.
Is it? So why don't you do a broker's open? And invite all the high net worth agents that are out there that have people for it and have a little party.
Yeah, it should be like after 6 or 7.
Absolutely. If you want,
More beautiful.
we can talk about it. Show me what it looks like or whatever. We can talk about it. Maybe we can help you put that together as an office and promote it. No problem. How you doing, Joseph?
Good, good.
How's business?
It's okay. I was at an open house yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and this guy really liked that house,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he really wants to work with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working on a couple listings. I sent them the listing agreement.
Yeah.
One of them is working on getting a financing.
Mhm.
Working on financing to buy another property, and that one he wants to work with us.
Yeah.
And another one is in some other city, and I have to contact him because he hasn't signed anything yet.
Yeah.
But he looked at it, because I looked at the PowerPoints.
So you sent the listing agreement? You didn't do a listing presentation?
It's in it's all the way in Richmond.
Okay.
So it's in-
I drive that far for a listing.
Yeah,
Would you?
I should tell my mentor that we should go there.
Yeah. What did she suggest?
She said just to send it.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm not gonna push back against your mentor. We can talk about that later.
yeah,
But well, let me know how that goes.
yeah, and then another month from now, somebody else wants to meet with me.
Uh-huh.
I've been working with them for a year now.
Yeah.
And I'm also working with a lot of buyers getting pre-qualified right now. I do have hope still, but I didn't, I don't want to lose hope. I've been in this, I've had my license for a year and a half now,
Yeah.
and I've done 2 deals already, but they were low offers.
Mhm.
And
You said you recorded yourself, didn't you?
yeah,
You still have that?
yeah,
Let me listen to it today.
yeah. Want me to come to your office?
Yeah, we can, I'll touch base with you after. Let me just organize myself after this and then let me listen to it. I'll give you some points. So I think that would be important. Does anybody else on Zoom have anything? Any thoughts, any questions, concerns? Anybody? Everybody's just listening today. So I mean, we'll wrap it up with this. So the really cool thing about real estate is there's no ceiling to your income. You can make as much money as you want to make. It really comes down to what are you willing to do and what will you do on a daily basis. I know agents that make $250,000 and they're happy and they stop there. And I have an exercise that I do that I think I've done with you in the room. But, you want me to do it with you?
I don't know if it was me, but okay, sure.
So.
I don't know. what
Let's
to
see, I don't know,
do.
this has worked out well the last time I did it. Let's see, I'm gonna end with this. We'll end with this. What's the most amount of money you wanna make in real estate in 1 year?
Honestly, I want to make $500,000.
500,000. You wanna make 500,000? Are you sure? If you made $500,000, would you be happy? Or you wanna make more?
No, I'm happy.
You're happy with 500K?
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about what kind of, so do you own your house right now or no?
Yeah, I had a condominium.
You condominium, okay. So your ultimate house, what kind of house would you want? How much would you have to pay for your house? If you wanted to upgrade your house and have the best house ever, this is the last house you'll ever have.
If I want to buy another house, you mean?
Yep, how much would that house be?
Or, I guess for my budget, I wouldn't go more than.
Well, no, we're not talking about your budget, we're talking about ultimate, like this is not, your budget off-
3 million.
3 million, okay, 3 million. 3 million, what kind of car? Your ultimate car?
Tesla.
Tesla, so that's 120,000?
I haven't, I don't.
I think it's around 120, 120K. All right, what else would you want to, your dream year? What would you want to do for like vacation? What would your vacation be? Ultimate vacation,
Honestly, anywhere other, I don't know, Italy,
Italy, for how long?
2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Sure.
I have to go, I don't know,
How much do you think that would cost? 2 week vacation to Italy?
if I want to be very, very good one, I'm sure at least 20,000.
20,000, okay. Italy. 20K. What's the mortgage on a $3 million house? It's like $1,000 for every $100,000. I mean, $1,000 for every $100,000 borrowed right now, or something like that.
So,
So let's say 30,000. 30K a month, just for fun. It's probably a little less than that. So what else? So your dream year, what else would you want to do this year? You got your dream car, you have your dream house, you have your dream vacation. What else is there?
well, another thing that I'm gonna have that, I'm gonna be happy, it's just peace of mind.
Peace of mind. What gives you peace of mind?
That, I guess that's, I mean, when I'm doing something right, and
Mhm.
I'm getting succeeded in that.
Mhm.
So that gives me a peace of mind that I succeeded, so.
Would savings help you with that if you had a savings account? How much would be in your savings account to make you happy if you could put together in the next 12 months?
That I don't know.
100 grand?
I'm gonna learn.
100 grand, 100 grand savings, okay. 100K savings. Okay, what else? For your next 12 months, the ultimate life, what else would you have to have in the next 12 months to be like, I'm happy, I don't need anything else, I'm good, what else?
I'll probably do some, I'm gonna buy a new house, so I don't have to do
Yeah.
anything with my
Yeah.
condominium.
There you go. You have 100,000 for savings, for family, for kids, for what, all that stuff. You have
And,
$20,000 vacation, you have $120,000 Tesla. What else do you need?
I charity, I like to do.
You gotta give away money to charity. How much would you want to give away?
If I make 500,000.
No, we're talking about 500. We're talking about ultimate life. How much would you have to?
Just in 1 year, I would go 10,000.
10,000. 10,000 in the entire year. 10,000 charity. Okay. Okay. Charity. So I'm gonna say this is a 2K monthly payment. That's a 30,000, that's 2K monthly payment. I may be a little low on that one, but, all right, what else? You give it away to charity, you have a savings account, you have ultimate car, ultimate house, ultimate vacation. What else do you want? This is we're gonna do this every year, by the way. So this isn't just this year. This is gonna happen every year. So what else would you want?
Definitely, I'm gonna trying to have more clients, for sure.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that'll come in time.
Uh,
But I mean, if you did all this stuff, would you be really super happy? Would this be like the best year ever?
I will be happy, sure.
Best year ever, or no?
Sure.
Sure, best year ever.
Yeah.
So you want,
I'm gonna help out my children too,
yeah, well, isn't that the 100,000? If you want to put a 2 onto that,
make it too.
make it a 2. Okay, I like it. All
But,
right, so
I
200,000.
pay them up in front.
Okay.
It's like, now we're getting somewhere.
All right, so you have $30,000 a month in mortgage payment, you have a $2,000 a month car payment, you have a $20,000 Italy vacation, you have $200,000 in savings, and then you have $10,000 to charity.
I guess I'm not even getting pre-approval.
So you're getting, so that's 2, 2, 3, 6. So your ultimate life in the next 12 months would only be $262,000. But you told me you needed 500,000. What would you do with the extra money? So if you take this away and you did that, you said this would be make you really, really super happy. So if you take, let's do some math here really quick. If you take the average commission in our office, which is 1.5 million, which is $37,570 a year, per deal. So that's per deal. I'm gonna do some math here really quick. That's,
I think it's 45,750. Are you doing 3%?
I was doing 2.5%, missing from right. 37,500, I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
$500, okay. So we do 30 some, so we do this, and see, 2. So this is, this. Seven deals. Only 7 deals. So this is based on what your average sale price is. So we can actually pull up all your sales from last year and figure out what your average sale price. Let's say your average sale price is $800,000. So that's 24,000. So we do 24,000. So we do 262 divided by 24,000. So that's not even a deal a month. So let's make it 12 deals to because this would be GCI. That would be GCI. So like all your fees and costs and everything. So let's throw an extra 24 grand in there to all your costs. So your ultimate life is 1 deal per month. Could you do that? What?
I do, yeah,
So you could do that.
I could do that.
You could do that. So if you do the math, the average person knows about 300 people, and 6% of that is gonna buy, sell, or refer in the next 12 months. So 6% of 300 is 18, so that's actually more than 12. So for most agents, or everybody listening to this, if you're not doing a deal a month, typically that's because you're not probably doing enough volume in lead generation to actually hit that number. If you do the volume of lead generation, that will get you to 18 deals in the next 12 months. Theoretically, based on stats and numbers and things that I have no power. Is that helpful? You can do it. You can do that. You can literally, it's March, you could do that this year. You have $200,000 in savings. I mean, I think you're skimping on charity a little bit. I'm just saying, you know, it's 10 grand, you probably get a little more.
I should. I will. If I end up with that much money, I will do it more.
Well, I would love to help you with that. Any questions or any thoughts before we wrap it up? The last time I did this, they were like, I want $3 million in a year. And their like ultimate life was like $800,000. It's pretty much happened to 2 people. All right, let's play the last video and get out of here.
The key with me is no one will outwork me. No one. I love and I respect you guys. Motherfuckers won't outwork me. All starts with this. 2 hands, putting it to work.
But you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man. I hate it when I see young people wasting their time, wasting all this technology got, just sitting around in this world that's been created for you, that everything is instant. But if you can combine your technology with your parents and your grandparents' work ethic, you could be rich, man.
Just ask yourself this week, do people know you for your work ethic? Are people like, man, you work hard? Are people actually commenting about you showing up early and staying late? Because if they're not, you're just blending in with everybody else's work ethic. At the end of the day, talent will not win the game. It is work ethic that will win the game.
You gotta get gritty, man. You gotta develop some dog in you. You got to get messed up sometimes. You gotta get dirty, you gotta get your feelings hurt, you gotta get disappointed, you gotta get told no. But in order to get the life of convenience, you gotta have a very uncomfortable life. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And you're always gonna have haters, and haters are like, well, damn, man, how much are you gonna do? Like, you do a lot of shit. I say, yes, it's my ambition. Of course, you gotta work every day. It doesn't end. And when shit goes bad and it goes sideways, or you're coming through this injury, or people are writing you off, it should drive you.
If you're gonna get it, you're gonna have to have that dog. You got an opportunity. So here's the deal. When you have an opportunity, why would you give 80%, 70%? Why wouldn't you always give 120%? From today on, you play whatever your best game is, you play that level every single time. Every time you practice, you don't care what the circumstances, what the situation is, every single time you give it 120%. It doesn't mean you're gonna score every time, but you can always give 120% effort.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.